Hi, welcome back to the organizing tip of the day. Quick tip today about moving. I've had like a bunch of requests this week for how to organize your move, which is so weird because they're probably all coming from the same person. I haven't actually checked that because I've never got that question before. So I'm going to give you some quick moving tips. But first, I want to tell you about my trip to IKEA. Which sounds awesome because I'm always like, going to IKEA is like my wet dream. I love IKEA. It's 4 hours away from here. So yeah, I was really geeked to get to go. My husband was surprised me. He's like, let's go for March break. And I was like, yay, IKEA! It was a 4-hour drive, so we packed up the kids. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law came, so that was super fun. We got there. I fell in love with end tables, but my bedroom's small, and I didn't measure, so I wasn't sure if they were going to fit, so boo, I didn't get my end tables. And then I was going to get these stacky, shelvy things for in my cupboard because my bowls just stack up, and one of these days they're going to fall and topple and kill someone. So I was going to get those, like, you know, those shelves that you put in your cupboards, but I didn't measure my cupboard, and I wanted to make sure I got the optimum space and didn't want them too small or too big, so I was like, oh, I'm not going to get them. Fine. And then I found this dresser. This Hermes, I think it's called, white dresser, so beautiful. So we were like, yeah, we're going to get this dresser and replace that stupid armoire, which I like it, but you know, it's junk and it's kind of falling apart and it's really old. And so anyways, we get to the end and they're sold out. So I drove 4 hours to IKEA for nothing. I'm kind of sad about that, but I'm just whining to you. So when you go to IKEA, make sure that you measure your space beforehand for anything that you might possibly want. So you don't end up with nothing. It was very sad. Okay, so my moving tip. Here is my #1 moving tip. Get uniform boxes. You can either buy boxes at Walmart or Costco, or you can get moving kits from the UPS store, or you could do it cheap and contact your local mall. They have a dumpster out back. It sounds awful, but it's full of just broken down big boxes. So they'll all be uniform, the same size. You don't have to worry about food and gross stuff being in there. It's strictly for cardboard, so you could do a little dumpster diving. They've got hundreds of thousands of boxes back there. You can also contact Walmart and ask to speak to someone in the stock room, and they will set aside the bigger boxes that can close up for you. They'll be broken down. You just have to retape them, but they're free. And your liquor store as well are happy to give you, and they have good sized boxes there for dishes and stuff like that because they're smaller. And they have handles already built right in at your liquor store. So those are some places to get some free boxes, or you can purchase them. So once you have your boxes, you want to have 2 markers, whatever colors, it doesn't really matter, but 2 different color markers, because when you're labeling your boxes, you want to label what's going in it, so dishes, you know, books, clothing, and you also want to label which room you want it to go in your new house. I know this may seem like really obvious, but for your movers, they might not know. You may have, you know, a dining room, so it's dishes, and they may put it in the kitchen, but you might as well put dining room. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have Jenny's clothes, they might know Jenny's room, but you just put small bedroom on 2nd floor or something like that. Like you want to have all the same color for the movers to know, or the people who are helping you or whatever, because you don't want people to, first of all, leave it in the first room that they come in, or be bugging you every 5 seconds to say, where does this box go? Where does this box go? Where do you want this? You want it clearly labeled on the box. My other tip is when you're packing, obviously, is to start with the stuff that you use the least. So knickknacks are always first, and then books, out-of-season clothing, bakeware that you don't use on a regular basis. That's what you want to start with. And when you have uniform boxes, it's nice because you can stack them along the walls, all the way up to the ceiling with no fear of them toppling over because they're all sturdy, secure boxes, and you're easily able to start packing well in advance of your move. And then what we did was use our suitcases because you have to move them anyways, and we each packed 1 week's of clothing. And at the time it was just my husband and I, but we packed 1 week's worth of clothing, and then you can pack up everything else in your bedrooms, all your other clothing, and just live out of the suitcases. So you don't have to like rummage through boxes and stuff like that for a whole week, or even more if you need to. So yeah, those are some quick moving tips. We'll see you next time.